Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you my winter TBR. So these are books that I definitely want to get to over the winter season. And I feel like the winter is specifically time where I buckle down and tackle, sorry, my light keeps dimming here. But it is definitely the time of year where I tackle a lot of the bigger books. So these are the ones that are probably the most intimidating books on my TBR too, because they're quite chunky and very big. So they're a little intimidating by that. But nevertheless, I'm still excited to dive in. I'm looking at my pile here. We got some fantasy, we got some like magical realism, and then also murder mystery as well. So we kind of cover a lot of the different genres that I like to read. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting up, I first have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I've heard this is kind of a romantasy type of book, and it is very big, as you can see, so I think it's why I haven't really gotten to it, especially once it gets closer to the end of the year where I'm trying to get to my 50 book goal. I prioritize books that are a little bit shorter, but this is one that I got this year that I'm really excited to dive into. And I don't know if there's any other books out in this series, so if anything, it's one that I can kind of read and be caught up. But basically the premise of the story, it says, as an assassin for the rebellion group, Fear Death, Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan took the head of the king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison, where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rave. Echoes of the past race between them. There is more to their story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. So I think this one, even the synopsis sounds like fairly vague, so I really don't know what to expect. I'm assuming there's some sort of like dragons involved as well, so I'm definitely excited to kind of dive into this one, and I feel like winter, when it's cold, you can't really go out anywhere, is the perfect time to dive into a book like this. Next, I have a book that I'm really excited about, and it is the concluding novel in the Book of Dust trilogy by Philip Pullman, which is The Rosefield. This is essentially kind of a like part 2 to the like his Dark Materials trilogy, and so this one follows, I am totally blanking on her name, Lyra, as she's a teenager and she's kind of going through after the events of the first trilogy. The first book is a little bit different because it follows, it's like essentially a prequel to his Dark Materials, where we get baby Lyra, but a lot of it really ties into that second book. So this is like the concluding story for this trilogy, and I guess over this series as a whole. It took him a while to come out with this one, because I remember I read the other one a couple years ago, so it was out for a few years at that point, so he's taken a while to kind of get to publishing this one. My husband has already read this one and he enjoyed it. He said he didn't enjoy as much as his Dark Materials, but he still really enjoyed it, so I'm very curious to see where I fall in kind of liking this. So this is definitely one I'm really excited to dive into. I do apologize for the lighting in here. It's kind of been all over the place because this light dimmed threw off all my settings, so please bear with me. So hopefully it kind of stays a little bit better. But next up, this is another huge book that was literally taking over the internet, I feel like, when it came out, and it is Alchemised by Sen-Lin Yu. I'm very excited to dive into this one just because of the craze that's happened. My husband has also read this one as well, and he said it was like fairly dark and difficult to read at times, just in terms of some of the things that happen to these characters. So I'm very intrigued. This one's also just like makes me worried because it is over 1,000 pages, which has me just like worried just with how big it is. But I am excited nevertheless. But oh my god, it is so heavy. But it says, once a promising alchemist, Helen is now a prisoner of war of her mind. Her resistant friends and allies have been brutally murdered, her abilities suppressed, and the world she knew destroyed. In the aftermath of a long war, Palladia's new ruling class of corrupt guild families and deprived necromancers, who vile undead creatures help bring about their victory, holds Helena captive. According to Resistance records, she was a healer of little importance within the rank, but Helena is inexplicable memory loss of the months leading But Helena has inexplicable memory loss of the months leading up to her capture, making her enemies wonder if is she truly as insignificant as she appears, or are her lost memories hiding some vital piece of the Resistance final gambit? To uncover the memories buried deep in her mind, Helena is sent to High Reeve, one of the most powerful and ruthless necromancers in this new world, trapped on his crumbling estate. Trapped on his crumbling estate, Helena's fight to protect her lost memory and to preserve the last remaining shreds of her former self is just beginning. For her prison and captor have secrets of their own, secrets Helena must unearth, whatever the cost. This, as we know, is kind of a Dramini fanfic that eventually got turned into this, so very excited to see. Like I said, my husband said it was like really gruesome and dark at times, so I'm very curious to see how this one pans out, but it does sound exciting. But again, the length of this one kind of terrifies me a little bit. Next, I've been kind of exclusively waiting to read this book in winter time, and even just like the cover alone, it just gives me winter vibes, and it is Pearly Everlasting by Tammy Armstrong. I feel like this is just kind of a very good kind of wintry book overall, but I've literally been holding on to this one for a while to read. But it says, New Brunswick, 1934. When a cook in a lodging camp finds an orphan baby bear, he brings it home to his wife, who names the cub Bruno and raises him alongside her newborn daughter, Pearly Everlasting. Growing up, Pearly and Bruno become inseparable, and the camp's woodmen accept and embrace the tame young bear too. But all that changes when a new supervisor arrives, a ruthless profiteer who pushes the workers to the breaking point and has it in for Bruno. When the man is found dead, the blame falls on the bear. Soon after, Bruno is kidnapped and sold to an animal trader. Determined to rescue the only brother she has ever known, Pearly, now a teenager, sets off alone on a hazardous journey through the forest. In her quest to find him and bring him home through miles of ice and snow, eluding malevolent spirits and the cruelty of strangers, she will discover new worlds and a strength she has never known she's possessed. Loosely based on a true story, steeped in rural folklore and superstition, and set against the backdrop of a beguiling woodland, Pearly Everlasting, and is an indelible novel about the triumph of good over evil, the beauty of the natural world, and the bonds that cannot be broken. Again, I feel like this one is just the perfect time to read around this time of year, especially when it is very snowy out. So I'm excited, and like I said, I've been holding out to read this for the winter season, so I hope it doesn't let me down. And lastly, I have a kind of murder mystery in one of my favorite series that I'm really excited to dive into, that I'm, again, waiting kind of for the winter season to really kind of dive in, and it is the Hallmarked Man by Robert Galbraith. This is the newest installment in the Cormoran Strike series. Especially with murder mystery series that I love, I just kind of dive into them not knowing too much about the premise, so I have no idea what the premise of this one is, but I'm really excited. My sister's read this and she's enjoyed it as well, so I'm very excited to see what this one has in store. But basically it follows Cormoran Strike, who is this private investigator who has kind of rose to fame over the years for a lot of his high profile cases, and he does so along his business partner Robin, and they both kind of have feelings for each other, but the timing has never aligned, so I'm really hoping that that is the case for this one. But again, this is also another chunky one too that is close to 900 pages, so again, another big intimidating book, but I'm hoping to really kind of just devour it, especially these ones. Like, I can read through them fairly quickly, so I'm excited to dive into this one. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what some of the books that are on your winter TBR and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.